I'm Mo Rocca, and I'm excited to announce Season 4 of my podcast, Mobituaries. I've got a whole new bunch of stories to share with you about the most fascinating people and things who are no longer with us. From famous figures who died on the very same day, to the things I wish would die, like buffets. All that and much more. Listen to Mobituaries with Mo Rocca wherever you get your podcasts.
Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show, and in today's episode I wanted to talk more on depression, that topic. Dark topic, but I feel like any advice that I can possibly give out or any stories that I can tell, I feel like it can, guide people in there. Overall it's a journey. It's a depressing journey, but yeah, the depression journey. Any advice that I could give a person or any stories that I could tell, anything that can help a person out and let them know, like, hey, the same thought process you're having is the same thought process I'm having, along with probably millions of other people across the world. So that's one of the things that I can say about depression, is that it makes me have a different outlook on like people and their situations and all of the different stuff that they're overall going through. Like, I can't overall look at a situation and tell a person, because I feel like at some point in time in my life, definitely in my younger days, I was like that, where somebody were crying or if somebody was sad about something or somebody, like, I would just look over it. I wouldn't overall, like, is like the person I am today, like if I see somebody crying or somebody comes to me and they tell me that they're sad about something, I don't think my words were exactly like, oh, man up, like, you'll be all right. It's like, stop all that crying and all this stuff. But that was the environment that I was raised in. So I feel like that environment that you're raised in, you're going to have that effect, or like just pretty much like push that off on somebody else. And that's not good. Like telling the person, like, that's why I remember it was a while ago when I remember I came out and started, like, was being like open the first few times about like me dealing with my depression and stuff. People was like leaving comments talking about, oh, you're just sad, you're just like, no. Like, do not tell me how I am. Like, that's why I never listen to people when they try to tell me about my depression. Like, there was one day when I was 16 and I was just as happy as I could be. I was living life. I was laughing. Like, there was nothing that can kill my joy. Next day, done for. Like, definitely back when I was 16, that's when I was like, it was just dark days after dark days after dark days after dark days. And it makes you, like, in a way, like, depression, like, that's not something the person should seek after, because I know people are like, oh, well, what mentally makes you stronger? And I feel like the more and more you deal with depression, it definitely makes you stronger. Like, there's situations that I go through today, and I'm thinking, like, if I would have went through that stuff, like, at an early age, bro, I probably would have been screwed up. So it's probably good. It's probably good that I did deal with this stuff now rather than like when I was a kid. Like, I'll admit, like, I had my moments when I was a kid too, but it didn't seem like it was as effective. It wasn't like, there was like a build up process to it. And then that's like, one day when I was in high school, then that's when, like, depression. And I think everybody knows how, like, I've talked on it. But for those that are new to my podcast, it was like one of the first few times in my life when I was like rejected by somebody that I had like deep feelings for. Like, I feel like the times either before that or after that, being rejected, then there was the one time last year, but there was like a bunch of like other occasions where it just wasn't as effective. And so I do feel like that growing up as a kid, like it did happen to me a lot where I was overall like, rejected in things, but I wasn't depressed over it. And then, but it wasn't until like high school, and it's like, that stuff, it just kind of like builds up, and then, it's honestly, it's like a bottle about to explode. Like, it's just a bottle of emotions just waiting to explode. So there is, I do feel like that it can start off young, but you won't fully see it until like you're like old enough, and then until something just really, hits you and stuff. But once when you once when there's like that one thing, and it can be from like, rejections to death to, like your careers to your jobs, like whatever it is, there is a lot of like stuff that will happen, and you won't necessarily realize it until it's too late. Like that's when depression then started. That's when, like, and some maybe it might happen sooner than others, but overall, like, it's one of those things where it's, you have to like mentally prepare yourself for it. And I know a lot of people, I try to talk with people and prepare them for the worst. Like I remember that one particular like quote unquote fan that I was talking about a while ago that was like joining my streams just saying toxic stuff. Even I remember I was trying to, like, I think that was like one of the last few times I like brought it up in a person's mind, like the worst, because people don't want to think on the worst. I think on the worst. And I feel like, yeah, at one point in time, like I try to like stay away from it and, not think about that type of stuff. Cause, as a kid, like, yeah, you ain't gonna really be thinking about that. But then as you, I feel like as you get older, like you do have to like think about the worst like case scenario, the worst possible things that could happen. Like, and bro, I'm telling you, it's like, and man, it's honestly, it's a war zone in my mind at times, because I try to like shake that, but at the same time, I can't. And I'm like, and I don't know whether it's the depression or it's just my mind just messed up, but it's one of those things where you can't overall, like, you can't just shake it. Like you can't just shake, like when you've experienced some dark days, then overall, like, yeah, you're gonna have dark thoughts. You're gonna be just sitting down and just be like, dang, like, what is wrong with me? Like, I'm telling you, there's so many different occasions. And that's the thing where it's like, the more and the more and the more that you deal with it, the more you can help out others, because you can tell them your story, and then they'd see like, well, dang, like, they dealing with this stuff like actively and things. And so that's why I tell, like, that's like one of the things I make sure I tell people, like, even on my darkest days, because I'm like, I deal with my darkest days. I deal with my darkest days on the regular, probably like every day. Like, nah, like, I swear, like, these like past like probably like few weeks, it just seems like dark day after dark day after dark day, and it just seems like, and I feel like the more and more I think about it, it's like, bro, them weeks will turn into months, the months will turn into years, where I'm like, it's always been dark days for me. So that's why I tell people, because I'm like, nah, like, I deal with my dark days, and at times, like, I could tell, like, when people are like, brand spanking new to this like mindset where it's just, just dark days and stuff. Like, I try to be there for people. I try to, like, help out and motivate people. It was just the other day, I was talking to one of my friends. They reached out to me, and they were telling me some stuff about them. And, yeah, it was, it's situated. And that's the thing. There's going to be times that, like, that's one of the, like, things I can tell a person. It's like, like, helping out others, is that there's going to be at times where people come to you with like far more, like, serious things. But at the same time, that same depression that's in you is in them. It's just a different situation. Like, that's the thing. The situations can be different. Depression will always be the same. So that's why, like, never look at a person and, if they come to you with a, like, depression story and it doesn't meet your standards, or it's not, like, nah, like, never, or it's too much for you, like, nah, like, help that person. There's at times people, they come to me with some situations and I'm like, bruh, I have never dealt with that, but I put myself in that situation. See, that's one of the things where, like, if somebody approaches me and I don't know, like, it's, bad relationships, like, my thing is, like, I'm not, like, so I am somebody you could come to for advice, because I'm like, I am that person where I do put myself in situations and stuff. But yeah, let's say, it's bad relationships. Somebody comes to me and they talk about, like, how they can never find, like, a good relationship and stuff. And I put myself in that situation, like, well, what would I want to hear if I was seeking out advice on, like, bad relationships? What would I want to know? And I just go based off of, like, what I've seen, what I've read, what I've watched, like, and if a bad relationship, if you're calling it a bad relationship, that relationship ain't for you. Like, it's not. At the end of the day, that you got to move forward in life, and just overall, like, that relationship ain't good, because it's gonna lead to a point in time in your life, like, because my thing is, like, I'm big on, like, trying to, like, find out this stuff, like, to stay away from stress. So because my thing is, like, I'm trying to have a stress-free life, but at the same time, I am having my dark days. But I feel like I'm slowly, because today was like progress. Today was definitely progress. To like tell you how it's been like these past, like, probably like months, like, because I'm trying to think, like, it seems like this has been happening for a while now. But I will stream. And I think everybody knows that I stream, like, in the either in the mornings or in the evenings, depending on what I'm doing that day. But anyways, I'll stream. And then if the stream is, like, that's why I always, like, look forward to, like, the active streams and stuff. But I think I'm gonna be hesitant about asking for that, because last time I was, like, asking for my streams to be active, the wrong people came into my streams and just was making it toxic and stuff. So at the end of the day, I'm like, hey, yo, if people show up, they do. If they don't, they don't. But no, like, so when my streams are just, just dead silence, just quiet, nobody's, like, talking, or, people join, like, when I'm having streams like that, like, it's sad. And so I sit there, I'm, like, playing the game, streaming, I'm talking to myself. And then when I end the stream, then it just, like, it just feels like, even, like, I never knew that quietness can, like, there's, like, something that's quieter than, like, than that. Like, it's like it gets even more quieter. And I'm like, because at this point in time, I'm like, I'm no longer doing what I want to do. Like, the stream's over with, it's done, it's over. And so so I just pretty much, like, I just get depressed, and I just lay down, and I'm sitting there watching YouTube videos, I'm watching TV, and I'm trying to, like, build up that motivation to get out of bed and to, get back into content creating. But for some reason, like, I can't. And I'm like, I feel so stuck and trapped. And I'm like, bro, I don't get why I feel like that, but it's crazy. It's like, honestly, it's one of the, like, the most craziest things to, like, experience, when you just can't get out of bed. Like, you want to, you're sitting there looking at all of the equipment that's around you, where I can literally sit up and make 100 videos if I really wanted to. And then the messed up part about it is that when I overall do that, I'll say, you know what? No, I'm like, bump all that. I'm getting up. I'm gonna go set up all the my gear and stuff so I can record me some videos. Then I start recording, and then I just get, like, not even so much as, like, depressed, but I, like, dang, I don't even want to record now. Like, what's up with that? Like, I know I'm not the only one that experiences that. Like, that's something where I'm struggling on. That's something where it's like, if somebody were to, come to me and tell me that, I'm like, dang, like, how do I give them, like, good, legitimate advice? Like, that's, like, the one thing that I'm, like, struggling on. I'm like, if somebody out there is dealing with that, feel free to reach out to me and stuff so I can understand. But it ain't on some stuff where, like, somebody comes up to me and they're all like, just record the videos, it's not that hard. Like, see, that's somebody where I'm like, yeah, you obviously haven't sat down and put yourself in that situation and stuff. So that's why it's people like that, don't listen to them. And I used to be that type of person, like, to a certain extent, but I would try. It's like that hard hitting advice. Like, I feel like in some occasions it can work out, but then in some occasions that it can't. When you're dealing on some stuff like that, yeah, it ain't gonna really work out as good. But but if it's like on some petty stuff, like, I don't know, like, it depends on, like, what kind of petty stuff it is. Like, back on the relationship stuff, like, if that person is toxic, then I'm gonna be flat out, like, honest with you, like, hey, yo, stop talking to that person. Don't talk to that person no more, okay? Like, leave that person alone. But because that's some stuff that I know about. But I'm like, with this, on the other hand, I'm like, I don't know, like, that's I'm confused. Like, how do I, build that motivation up? And it takes me back to last year when I was, like, really going through my depression days. And I just, it was like right after, it was pretty much like post rejection, like right after that girl rejected me. And I just remember, like, laying down in bed and just not wanting to do nothing, and then sitting down watching, like, motivational videos and stuff. And the motivational videos wasn't helping, like, even if I would watch it about, like, and so that's why I'm like, it's that. And then also there's like a part of me that is like, you know, I had to say like the lazy side is much more bigger than the motivational side. And I'm trying to figure out how to make the motivational sides as big as it can be, and then make the, you know, laziness side like as small. But then that's, you know, then that's another thing where I'm like, I really don't want to like overwork myself. And then next thing you know, I find myself in the hospital, and then doctors are surrounding me telling me I gotta relax and I gotta rest and all this other extra stuff. Cause I'm like, no, like my thing is this, when I get into that mindset where I'm just working, like I cannot stop. And, you know, so the times, like the days when I am, you know, because today was like progress. You know, I did reach a point in time where I was like, okay, like, you know, I can't really think of anything else to record or do. But I'm like, but there's so many videos I can record. And I'm like, that's the thing. I'm like, I just need to overall just be a little bit more motivated, because it's, you know, it's torture, man, like not being motivated and stuff. But it's many things that I can overall talk on and stuff, because I'm like, man, it's, you know, it's like, it feel like as I'm doing this, like I'm like slowly finding the answers and stuff. But I feel like now, like I'm definitely at a point in time, like if I was taking a test, I'm gonna be sitting there for a solid second, like looking around the room like, hey, yo, I'm about to just guess and see where guessing takes me. Because if guessing makes me pass, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm just going to just freaking guess this. But if not, I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm like, I'm going to try to figure it out. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and call it a day, because I need to start preparing for this stream. So I appreciate everybody for stopping by. I'm like sounding like I'm ending this off like a stream. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. If you're viewing this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're viewing this on a podcast streaming service, make sure you follow or subscribe, however it's set up. Make sure you subscribe to one of my 38 YouTube channels. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Instagram at TMossBoss. And make sure you follow my Facebook page at TMossBoss fan page. Also, if you're purchasing any tickets from SeatGeek, make sure you use my promo code TMossBoss. It would knock $20 off your first purchase. And make sure you use my supporter creator code for Epic Games, TMossBoss. And in the meantime, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.